and you're about to enjoy some more CBC tournament action. It is a good one tonight. CBC going against the Spartans from DeSmet Jesuit High School. Arguably and probably the two best teams in this tournament. I'm sure Vianney would have something to say about that. Stellar team from Vianney who just beat SLU. But DeSmet coming in as a juggernaut. CBC looking really solid earlier this season. It should be a fun game as it always is between the two. My name is Tom Eichwald. Bringing you the game alongside me will be Mr. Randy Gardner. Nice to be back in the booth. We didn't do a broadcast together for 4 years, 2 in a week.
Hey, it's fun. 2 games, like you said, in a week. Get my feet underneath myself tonight. I knew maybe I might be on the air with you, so a little bit of research heading into tonight's game, not just jumping in at halftime and rolling with you. But it was a great time last week. We saw some great soccer. We're going to see some great soccer here tonight also.
Just to give you an update on where things stand in the tournament, we'll remind you of this several times tonight. Vianney defeated SLU by a score of 1-0 earlier this evening at 5 o'clock. That makes the current standings Vianney in the lead with 7 points after 2 games, SLU with 0 points after 2 games. DeSmet after 1 game has 6 points, CBC with 2. How do you get to those totals? Well, here's how you do the math at home. A win gets you 3 points. Every goal you score, up to 6 goals, gets you an extra point each. And you get a point for a shutout. So Vianney, after 2 points from a shutout and a tie against CBC, a 1-0 win, 3 for the win, 1 for the goal, and 1 for the shutout, gives them a total of 7. Yes, that was as much me checking my mental math as it was informing you on how this works. So Vianney was 7, DeSmet was 6, CBC 2, SLU 0. If DeSmet wins tonight, it all but assures CBC will not win the tournament. If CBC wins tonight, they'll be playing SLU potentially for the win, depending on what happens in the DeSmet-Vianney game. So a lot to play for tonight, but it's almost like none of that matters when CBC plays DeSmet.
This is a pride game. This tournament, we talked before we went on the air, this game and this tournament is a pride tournament, not only for the coaches but for the players. It's early here in the season, a chance to get out and showcase your team, yourself, and you know these guys deep down inside, and I don't care what the coaches say, they want to win this tournament too.
They do, and we want to see this tournament. 40 minutes is set on the clock. The referees are set, and we're going to get our starting lineups in a minute. We'll give those to you. A few things to look for tonight. One, as we mentioned, it's a pride game. This will be a midfield battle, and I have battle capitalized in my notes just because it is always physical. It is always intense between these two teams. Very dominant midfield possession type teams. So the battle tonight will be in the middle of the field. If you were only going to stare between the 30s, you would see a good show tonight. So I've got to imagine the midfield is going to be key. Also, finishing chances. You will not get a ton of quality chances against the level of defensive organization and talent that will be on display in this game. So you have to finish them when they come. CBC, finishing chances lately has been a little bit of an issue. Chaminade and Vianney, those 2 games, plenty of chances, but no goals, and a scoreless draw in games CBC will feel they could have won. So what are the Cadets doing about that? Well, tonight we get a new formation. Coach Mickler mixing things up, going back to a formation that CBC fans are very familiar with. He's been playing a 4-4-2 with a diamond midfield for the last few weeks, all of this season really. Tonight we'll see him revert to the 3-5-2. Reese McKell gets the start at forward alongside Camden Starzyk. John Krall will not start. He's got a little bit of an injury. We're not sure if he'll play or not. But it will be a little bit of a different look. Deweese will be in the middle at the back between Kurt Miller and Seth Kasich. So defense will be solid. Midfield will be the same. And that striking partnership of Starzyk and McKell nearly led to a goal the other night against Vianney. And we'll see what it leads to tonight. Beautiful evening. About 80 degrees or so. Starting to cool off just a little bit as the sun sinks down behind the trees in the background of your screen. And we're about to get set for the starting lineups. We're going to bring you the starting lineups here on CSN. You heard the cowbell. We're ready to go. After the starting lineups, we're going to step aside briefly for the national anthem and the prayer. But the starters from DeSmet first. Logan Payne. I think Logan Payne is the best goalkeeper in the MCC. He is outstanding. We'll talk about him tonight. In front of him, number 2, Lucas Payne. Number 3, Austin Huber. Number 5, Josh Lindell. trying to stay in sync with our public address announcer, Pete Genovese. Number 7, Carson King. Number 8's one of the captains, Matt Russo. We've seen Matt and his older brother, Peter, anchor this team for years. Matt Russo's senior year was wearing the captain's armband on that left arm. Avi Wessa, number 9, the leading scorer for DeSmet. He's got 5 goals on the season. Number 12, Brendan Miller. He scored against SLU on Tuesday night, part of a 2-0 win. The other scorer, number 17, Nick Gruey. Number 18, Kyle Burke. And number 25, Brendan Schamel. The Spartans are, of course, coached by Josh Klein. Coach Klein, always a pleasure to talk to. I always enjoy chatting with him before CBC DeSmet. Very insightful, always gives you some good things to look for in the broadcast, and just a really, really nice guy to chat with. For CBC, David Fitzgerald, giving up less than 1 goal a game. Very solid goalkeeper for CBC. In front of him, Kurt Miller, number 2. Seth Kasich. Mentioned Kasich and Miller will be your outside backs tonight. Anchoring the middle, Captain Nolan DeWeese. Can't say enough good things about the way he has played this season. In front of him, central holding midfielder Seth Tinkham. And we'll have number 7, Sam Benoist. He'll be running one of the flanks tonight.
Number 7, Sam Benoist.
Getting excited, getting a little bit ahead of the public address. It's going to bring up number 9, Camden Starzyk. You can see those boots from a mile away, the bright orange. Camden's the leading scorer for the Cadets. He's got 6 goals and 2 assists on the season. Nate Tem, number 10, he'll play attacking midfield tonight, I'd imagine. Also have number 11, Reese McKell, making his first start of the season. Reese will play, I would imagine, up top alongside Starzyk. Julian Bennett will play on the wings. Julian's got 2 goals and 4 assists on the season. Another player to watch tonight. And Mikey Holzer, I would imagine, will play central defensive midfielder. That's where he played on Tuesday night. So that is my guess. We're going to step aside for just a moment up here in the booth. When we come back, they're going to do the prayer and national anthem. We'll let you hear those. We'll be right back at Tim Kylo broadcast booth.
Let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Lord, we are grateful for the opportunity to begin this evening in prayer, and we thank you for the safe arrival of all who are gathered here. As we take part in today's contest, please help us to do so with good sportsmanship and with respect, not only for one another, but also for the abilities and the efforts of all who compete and officiate this game. Please keep all players free of injury and allow everyone safe travel home. For this we pray, amen. St. John Baptist de La Salle, live Jesus in our hearts.
Prayer said, national anthem played, and we are ready for soccer. We are at W. Michael Ross 66 Stadium, CBC against DeSmet. Round 1. Tonight is the soccer game between the two schools. Tomorrow night is the football game. 2 undefeated heavyweights going up against each other over at DeSmet Jesuit High School. You can go over for that game. It'll be worth the price of admission, I can guarantee you that much. Or you can join us right here for it on the Cadet Student Network.
Busy week for us. It has been a big week. I told my wife on Monday I will see you next Sunday. something every
It's
night
about
this
how
week.
it feels. Teams are going to get set. CBC wearing some purple jerseys with some lovely yellow numbers that I think we'll be able to see tonight.
It's always fun to see what they're going to come out in. You just never know.
It is. So CBC's in the purple. They're going to be going right to left across your screen. A team in white from over at DeSmet Jesuit High School is going to be trying to stop them, maybe even take it the other way. So DeSmet wearing the white and CBC wearing the purple. These teams are ready to go. We mentioned the midfield battle we will see. I would venture a guess that this will be a game with very little between the two teams.
So, Tom, that's my question to you. As a coach, what do you tell your team coming out early? Let's start with CBC. It's a game that you have to win. You have to put some chances on goal. You almost have to win this game by 1 or 2 goals to give yourself a chance to be in a position to win the championship. What do you tell them? Do you tell them to go out and press, or do you sit back, play your game, and wait for your chances?
I think if you're CBC, Coach Mickler is a big believer in the score first win doctrine. So I think CBC will want to come out and they will want to score first. They're going to start with the ball, so they'll get the opportunity to kind of dictate the pace of this game from the get-go. This combination of Starzyk and Mikkel we have not seen very much of yet, but after just a few minutes of playing together against Vianney, Starzyk played a ball in for Mikkel that very nearly, but for an outstanding save from Vianney's goalkeeper, nearly led to a goal. So I've got to imagine CBC is going to get after it. They're already in DeSmet's zone. They're going to want to ratchet up the pressure as much as they can, try to get that early goal. And if you are DeSmet, you want to weather this early storm. I think they absolutely have to settle in, be in their shape, be disciplined for the first few minutes as CBC comes after them. And when they get the chance, they're going to look at attacking with the speed, I would think, of Avi Wessa out on the flank. Here come DeSmet. That run's halted. Julian Bennett, Seth Kasich, and now Nolan DeWeese playing it out for CBC. Ball finds Camden Starzyk, who's actually dropped back into the midfield right now. Currently, Nate Tem is kind of leading the line, but I think Starzyk's going to make his way back up there. These players given license to move around as they see fit. It will be Mikey Holzer, who is the defensive midfielder, as we thought. Again, the midfield three. Holzer in a defensive role, Tinkham in a holding role, and right now it's actually looking like Starzyk is the attacking midfielder, Tem as the striker. I thought Starzyk had just dropped back, but might actually be a little bit of a shake-up. We'll see numbers forward, though. We can promise you that. Reese Mikkel playing it across. That one is not going to work. It'll be out for a goal kick. Coach Mickler, the reason for that 3-5-2 system is what he calls a stalling offense. We really have seen a little bit of sputtering. We talked about the game against Vianney, where we saw CBC had a lot of good possession in good areas, but nothing to show for it.
Yeah, you've already seen the first 3 minutes of this game, 2 minutes of this game, that we've had more offensive pressure, more players in front of the ball up near the defensive line than we saw in the entire game the other night. I mean, right now you've got 4 guys up top, 3 in the midfield, 3 back. It's a high line up top for CBC.
It is. It does yield DeSmet a lot of space on the flanks to counterattack. So the price of paying that system, these midfielders for CBC, these wingers are so high, creating a front 4 essentially. It can be a 5 at times when that attacking midfielder gets in there.
And you see the gaps that it creates right there on that change of possession.
Yeah, right. That's where DeSmet is. And what that does is it pulls Michael Holzer over, and now there's a gap in the middle. So for CBC, first game of the season in a new system, you have to be very, very careful to make sure that your gaps are covered in defense. 37-11 to go.
And now you look, it's just the reverse now. You've got one guy up top. You've got everybody drop back. So you get into this mode early in the game. We're 5 minutes into this game. If you're going to play like this as CBC, back and forth, then you start worrying about tired legs.
You do. It is warm. There's been a lot of games in the last few days. Both of these teams playing their second game of the week. Having games over the weekend, and it is an exhausting stretch. DeSmet also with some injury problems coming in, so reduced depth an issue for them as well. That all makes for what could be a long and tiring game for both of these teams. add to the physicality that this rivalry brings, and you've got a grueling affair here this evening.
Yeah, I think if you're CBC, you slow the game down. Slow the game down like what they're doing now. Let the ball do the work, spread out, play the ball wide, find your lanes down the middle, and then look for that through ball.
This is Tem dropping back into midfield. Looks like he and Starzyk will be switching back and forth a fair bit, and I like that a lot because what that does is it forces these DeSmet center backs to make decisions. Who's going to follow him and who's going to stay at home? There can be a lot of confusion caused by your attacking midfielder and your striker kind of interchanging places. You get used to seeing a certain number in a certain spot, so you follow him, and somebody could be sneaking in just behind you.
This is where practice, and that talk amongst players really comes in handy. We talk about that one mistake at this level, at the high school level, at the college and pro level. That one mistake in a game is the difference in a game.
Still spending a lot of time in the midfield. We told you could expect that tonight. Holzer's ball in is cut out. And DeSmet's going to play in long, but Fitzgerald is going to be able to get that one comfortably. Back line for DeSmet tonight. We got Austin Huber over here on the near side. That is 5 and 18 in the middle, Josh Lindell and Kyle Burke. And over there on the left side, playing left back right now, Brendan Miller. Defensive midfielder is Matt Russo, number 8. He's one of the captains.
Yeah, early DeSmet seems happy, just kind of sit back, let CBC bring the ball to them. 5, 6 guys, 7 guys playing deep.
And Lucas Payne, number 2, is leading the line currently. Carson King on the right, Avi Wessa on the left, and in the center of midfield, it is going to be Brendan Schamel, the sophomore, who is pulling a lot of the strings tonight along with Matt Russo. Throw in from Austin Huber. This is King. King's got Wessa. Another run on the outside. Off of Wessa's hand, and that's going to go out. Great run there by the left back, Brendan Miller. Again, he is a back, but he did score against SLU on Tuesday. Some familiar faces making their way in. Jack Edwards, All-American, CBC class of 2017, working his way in. Clearly enjoying the fact that college has no rule against facial hair.
They got a kick out of that.
They did. They did. I kind of wish they did have a rule, but it's looking good, Jack. Ball across. Of course, he's sitting right in front of the press box, making for a very awkward exchange. We're talking to you about him, and he's sitting there responding. This is Tinkham. He's going to play it out to the right. Reese McKell running onto him. McKell's got some speed, but nice job by Kyle Burke of closing him down.
Good job for the youngsters there, seeing that. McKell not giving up on the ball.
It is, and it earns a corner.
Those are the things coaches love to see. That little extra effort, that step when you don't think you're going to get the ball and you do, you create a turnover, which basically this is what this is. It gives you a scoring opportunity.
33 minutes to go in this first half. Benoist heads across. Avi Wessa, he's got some speed. Watch him when he gets running. Seth Tinkham had to read it well to be able to get there. Tinkham does not have the speed to run with Wessa, but there he had the intelligence to be able to know where he was going to be and get himself there first. Good pressure from Lucas Payne. Our scouting report is not quite extensive enough to tell you of any possible relation between Logan Payne and Lucas Payne. I'm going to take a wild guess there might be one. Fortunately, they're at other ends of the field, and we don't have them playing right next to each other. 8 minutes gone. Julian Bennett operating on the left right now. Good ball inside for Nate Tem. Bennett's making a run down the flank. Tem chooses McKell in the middle. Misplayed. McKell was already looking at what he was going to do with it before he got it. And nothing comes of that one. Seth Kasich will try to start it again. That time, it's Tem returning the favor to Bennett. Bennett cutting inside. 4 assists, 2 goals. He knows what he's doing. Tem with the right foot. That's going to bounce wide of Logan Payne's goal. But promising interplay. This is what that new formation does. You got a second striker up there. Nate Tem looks like he is going to be the striker. And he's moving back into the midfield. He's moving all over the place. It's creating a lot of weird looks for this DeSmet backline. I like it, Randy.
I was going to say so far they've got more pressure here in the first 10 minutes of this game than I think they did in most of the game the other night.
Wessa in the middle looking for King. Ball bounces favorably. This is Lucas Payne. Save Fitzgerald. Will Payne get another go? Cut it onto his left. Left-footed shot over the goal. That is a goal kick. Big save by Dave Fitzgerald. Great counterattack from DeSmet there.
We're 10 minutes into that game. A goal there. That changes the complexion on I think the way CBC has to play the rest of the game.
Well, and it's deflating if you're CBC. You've created some great pressure. You're saying, hey, this is promising, and all of a sudden you're 1-0 down. So a big save by Dave Fitzgerald. One of the things I can't say enough about Dave Fitzgerald is that he stays big. You've heard me talk about it before. A lot of goalkeepers there will come out. They'll kind of go to ground. They might spread their arms, but they'll go low with the legs, or they'll come out and slide at the ball. Fitzgerald held his ground, and because he did, he makes that save. If he commits early, it's 1-0 DeSmet.
You talked last Tuesday night about him being a keeper that plays deep all the time, stays on his line. He did stay on his line there. He let the ball come to him, which gave him, even that extra 2 or 3 feet, gives you an extra millisecond to make a reaction save, and that's what we saw there. You're a keeper. You know that.
I do. Dave Fitzgerald is a lot better than I am, though, that's for sure. Here is the aforementioned goalkeeper on his right. He's got Carson King closing him down. Little casual there. I think the speed of King caught him by surprise. Bad ball out. This is Payne. Lucas Payne. Tracked down by Seth Tinkham. Ball cleared off the line by Nolan DeWeese. Mistake by Fitzgerald almost cost CBC. Seth Kasich, some very physical defending in the box.
I was just getting ready to say composure, but not too much composure. And that's exactly what happened there. That lackadaisical ball.
Opportunity for DeSmet. Nick Gruey. That's played out by Seth Kasich. 10 minutes gone. Tom Eichwald alongside Randy Gardner. You're watching the Cadet Student Network. CBC versus DeSmet. Still scoreless thanks to Dave Fitzgerald.
It's fun to be in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. It's awesome.
It is. It is. We got computer screens. We got Chick-fil-A bags. That's the official chicken sandwich of the Cadet Student Network, by the way.
I'm usually sitting in the hard director's chairs. I didn't know you had couches and big luxury chairs here in the broadcast booth. Just joking.
What booth are you in? Yes.
Isn't broadcasting theater of the mind?
It is. It is. We hope you're seated on a comfy couch, because I'm currently leaning over a counter so I can actually see this corner kick that's going to be taken with the left foot. In swinger, back post. Headed back into the middle. Dangerous opportunity. Played up and over by Nolan DeWeese. That's a risky one, but that is back up and over, and it'll be another go.
I actually thought this was going to be a defensive battle tonight. Not many chances. It's been exciting. First 12 minutes of this game.
It has. Brendan Miller, the left back, gets another go. Again goes far post. Again, the header's won by DeSmet. I'm sensing an adjustment might need to be made over there on that side. Mikkel, heavy touch. Can he get there? No, he can't. He slides in. That is full-blooded from Mikkel, and the referee is going to call it a throw-in?
Yeah, no foul.
No foul. I thought he might have gotten Reese Mikkel there, but physical game between two rivals, he lets it play. I was just about to say maybe an adjustment on the way they defend those set pieces. Clearly, DeSmet is looking to go to that back post. They've won 2 headers in a row, caused some major problems. Do you maybe slide Nolan DeWeese back a little bit, give him the back post responsibility, let him attack that?
We've seen two corners they play, and both of them exactly the same. They play it deep and try to bring that ball back across the front of the goal.
Now, my question, Randy, if you move, as a coach, if you move DeWeese to that back post, who then occupies that central role?
Are you talking offensively or defensively?
Defensively, on defending corner kicks. Because DeWeese is the floater in the middle. He's the best aerial attacker of the ball CBC has back there. If you move him to the back post to be able to mark that run as Avi Wessa plays it in, opportunity perhaps, it's going to fall for Fitzgerald. But if you move DeWeese out, can you do that? Do you have enough aerial ability in this team to be able to make that adjustment?
If you drop him back there and he can defend that ball and clear it out one time, then you don't have to worry about that guy on this side. I think you do, at least on the next corner, move them back there and see what DeSmet does. Are they seeing that you've moved them back here, and are they going to try to play that ball short?
So you can take away their clear preference.
I see it as a coach. If I'm coaching DeSmet, I see him move back. I drive the ball low front post and look for a tip in.
Ball played around. It is DeWeese who will deal with this one. And he does it quite adroitly. That one's out of bounds. It will be a goal kick. Nice physicality by DeWeese to hold off Thomas Redmond, who is on as a sub.
What a great part of the game.
It is.
At all levels.
It is. Defending set pieces you're talking? Or are you still
I'm
back in the corner?
Just the ball going, the physicality, the ball going out of bounds. You're shielding, you're blocking, whatever you want to call it. That's where you're able to get out a little aggression.
I will say I was coaching a game on Sunday. CBC has a team, just sort of a rec league kind of club team for guys who are interested in playing just kind of for fun. And that was called against us. Shepherding the ball out of bounds was called as obstruction. It happens every now and then.
It probably should be called all the time, but, it's a fun part of the game.
CBC fans, Lumberjacks, being warned not to bang the drum, perhaps. Flick in. Good set piece there. That was a nice throw-in from Austin Huber. And you can see that time the throw into the near post, flick header. Devastating tactic when you do it right.
And the ball into the field. If you missed Tuesday night's game, we were trying to figure out a name for the space of the field or the campus between the field and
MoBAP in the Temple. If you have a suggestion.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing this.
If you have a suggestion, now let me describe this place to you after this throw-in, because this is a dangerous opportunity. Punch by Fitzgerald, cleared by CBC. Opportunity for Reese McKell to stretch his legs. Cuts back into the middle. Good defending by DeSmet. Kurt Miller on the diagonal. He's going to give it up. This is Gruey. He's got a goal in this tournament so far. That one's out of bounds.
So on screen, the viewers at home can see above the banner back there.
Above the Stronger Than Ever banner there.
There's a huge ravine back there. Huge ravine.
So it is densely wooded, and it is a ball boy's worst nightmare. There are no lights down there. So when a ball goes down there, the ball boy goes searching. We are trying to come up with a name for that ravine. This is not an official thing on the Cadet Student Network, but it seems like a place that should have a name. Another ball goes down into and insert your creation there. So
it could even be sponsored.
It could be sponsored. If you want to sponsor that, maybe you specialize in a storage. Maybe you're a storage facility. That ball's stored safely down in something ravine. That ball is not cleared by CBC. Chance for Avi Wessa. Avi Wessa closed down by Julian Bennett, who created the opportunity for him, and it is a corner. So if you've got a name idea, let us know. On the YouTube broadcast, you can put comments there next to the broadcast. Give us your comments. Let us know what you think that should be called. Or let us know if you want to sponsor it. Left-footed corner again, back post. Headed back into the middle, and another one header by DeSmet, and DeWeese stayed in the middle for that one. It was Holzer and Kasich back there on that back post. But DeSmet really doing a nice job of targeting that spot. More subs from the Spartans.
DeSmet's been very strong in the air all over the field tonight, whether it's in the backfield, the midfield, or up top. A lot of chances early here, especially on those corner kicks.
And physicality on set-piece situations is a hallmark of DeSmet soccer. It's one of those things that they've done to us a number of times. Think back to some of those epic district finals. I'm thinking of the one, I think it was maybe 2014 or 15 at Parkway North, where they got a goal on that and knocked
15.
us out. I think it was 15. DeWeese running this one down, Fitzgerald to claim. He was being pressured by Thomas Redmond. Tinkham's going to leave it for Kurt Miller. Kurt Miller likes to play the long diagonal, but instead he's going to keep it short for Benoist. Benoist and Bennett have switched side a couple times. Bennett currently operating on the left, Benoist on the right. 3 substitutions getting ready for CBC. 21-33 to go in this game. Cadet fans, are you protected? Call State Farm agent and CVC alum Tim Kylo for all your insurance needs. Tim is more than just the best insurance guy in town. He's also the presenting sponsor of CSN, and we're incredibly grateful for his support. Call Tim at 314-842-4442 or send him an email, tim@timkylo, that's KILO.com.
He insures everything. Maybe he could insure the soccer balls that go into the ravine.
He could. DeSmet coming in. Shot, saved by Fitzgerald. It's a good save. It's an awkward place to put it, but Fitzgerald did a nice job of holding on to that one. Kasich to Bennett to Holzer. Back to Kasich. May go back to Fitzgerald. No, he's going to play it across. That is a dangerous switch to play, but it works out as it finds Kurt Miller. DeSmet pressing very high on that.
Placement of Fitzgerald's been unbelievable tonight.
It has been collision there between Benoist and that was Brendan Miller.
He made that save look really, really easy, and that's not an easy save at all.
It isn't.
You don't know where he's playing that ball. He's 15 yards out. He's hitting that ball. He can play it anywhere. Fitzgerald was already in position down on the ground. It almost seemed like before he even shot the ball.
So a big save by David Fitzgerald about 10 minutes ago. And that is the reason we are still scoreless on the Cadet Student Network. This is the second game of the evening as Kurt Miller passes it back to Fitzgerald, who will probably kick this pretty hard. In the first game, Vianney defeated the Junior Billikens of St. Louis University High School by a score of 1-0. Now, this is the second game of the CBC tournament, so that means Vianney's in the lead with 7 points, DeSmet second with 6, CBC in third with 2 points, and the Junior Bills a lonely 0. CBC knew the feeling last year. They were shut out in the tournament, not just no wins, but also no goals, no points. You know, kind of it was really a low point early in the season from which CBC built throughout the remainder of the season, you know, peaking, making it all the way to that state Final Four. So really a jump start for the Cadets after this tournament. This is a much better team coming in than what we saw last year. But again, offense sputtering a little bit against Vianney and Chaminade. Coach Mickler looking to get it going with a formation change tonight, going to a 3-5-2.
We saw early in the game a lot of pressure up top from CBC, but now as the game moves on here,
DeSmet cutting in field. This is Kyle Burke. Burke going to the back post. Awkward for CBC. Deweese is going to have to poke it over to Seth Kasich. Julian Bennett looks like he's struggling a little bit over on the near side. And some of those changes that you saw, looks like Marco Anik back in at defensive midfield. And we saw Damian Klukas in for Seth Tinkham as the holding midfielder as well. So changes in the middle for CBC. Carson King trying to bring it down. Julian Bennett should win this one, and he does. Nice job by DeSmet to keep it in initially. Ball still in. Dangerous situation. Matt Russo. Carson King. Also involved over there, number 18, Kyle Burke. And it looks like that number 19, Henry Lawler, in at right wing. Also involved there. I think it was actually Lawler, not Burke. Diagonal ball played in, looking for Reese McKell. That one's headed out by DeSmet. Damian Klukas coming up to try to win that one. And creates an awkward situation for DeSmet, which results in a CBC throw. 17:34 to go in this first half. It has been scoreless so far, but not devoid of action. We have seen some battle in the midfield like we thought, but two teams kind of bypassing the midfield fairly effectively and getting right in the attack. Seen some very quick and efficient attacks. DeSmet creating some good opportunities. CBC, very similar to DeSmet, some good possession in attacking areas, but not really anything to show for it. As Anik finds McKell. No shots on goal for CBC. This is Anik. He's got Holzer on the right. So that is Mike Holzer operating on the right wing now. As Anik has slid into the defensive midfield spot. Deweese across for Seth Kasich. Dave Fitzgerald, the busier of the goalkeepers, making an excellent save. Very close range. He's made a couple of comfortable saves, one outstanding one, though. on the point-blank shot that he saved from Lucas Payne. Logan Payne still yet to really do anything in this game. But part of what makes him good is that he can do nothing for a long stretch of time, be called into action, and be outstanding. There you see a good, quick decision made there. He's a big fella, too. I don't know if he grew it all in the offseason, but, man, is he tall. He just looks like a goalkeeper should look. This is Bennett. It's played out from Austin Huber with just under 16 to go here in the first half. Randy, your thoughts so far? I was just kind of thinking that we thought it would be a midfield battle, and really it hasn't. It's kind of been, the midfield's been bypassed a little bit tonight.
Yeah, I talked about it before I ran upstairs real quick to make some camera adjustments. And you can never get the director out of me. The producing, the seeing things that might need to be improved. Tonight, a simple setup, just one camera tonight for soccer. You know, usually we do multiple cameras, so pretty simple setup, pretty simple operation. But want to make sure that the viewers are experiencing the best viewing experience that they can have. So, to get back to your original question before the rant.
Yeah, midfield.
There
midfield,
you go.
Randy.
Yeah, the ball hasn't been in the midfield that much. It's been in and quickly played either up top or out to the wings, exactly opposite what I thought we would see in this game. I think as the game goes on and gets into that second half, I think we might even see less of that. You're going to see more, I don't want to say panic play, but you're going to see a lot more pushing out of CBC because they do have to score. They do have to win this game. And DeSmet, I think, as the game will go on, will take less risk and less chances because they know a tie works in their favor.
That's Burke. Lobbing one in there looking for Lucas Payne. Dealt with nicely by CBC. And here comes Dan Federer over here on the left. First action we've seen of him on the Student Network. Looking lively as Starzyk crosses it. Holzer was just too far inside, but Michael Holzer does win this ball. Pokes it up, on-rushing Cadet. Can we get a cross in here? Mikkel does get a cross in. Starzyk couldn't get there before it was cleared by Jack Hackett. And it will be out for a DeSmet throw going out.
I will say early, I've seen a lot of, I don't want to say consistently, but a lot of sloppy touches. The ball, simple things that you as a player, you work on developing your skills as you're a youngster to get to this level. The ball comes to you knee level, thigh level. Quickly get the ball to the ground. You're seeing a lot of the ball bouncing off the leg and taking that 3-foot high bounce, which takes an extra second or two to get the ball to the ground, which gives the defensive player an opportunity to step up and make a play on you. Those are the simple things, keeping that ball close when it comes to you.
DeSmet working it back into the middle. You mentioned that is simple. You know what else is simple? Raising money for your school, team, or organization using TJ's Pizza, selling delicious pizzas and desserts. Also
we sell them for the soccer team.
Also available in the concession stands. That's TJ's Pizza. You can call them at 314-869-9404 or check them out at tjspizza.com. Thank you, TJ's. Substitution for CBC. Reese McKell getting a break. And in comes, I think that's Anthony Kalika. If I'm not mistaken. It is Anthony Kalika, and his first action is to bring down Aviwesa. Free kick for DeSmet, looking like it'll be taken by Matt Russo.
Played with Kalika's dad in college.
Didn't we have a dad of somebody you played with in the Vianney game as well? So.
You know how soccer is in St. Louis. If you pretty much played with everybody.
Cross comes in, dealt with at the near post by DeWeese. He's going to play it long. I don't think Tem's going to get on the end of this one. And he doesn't. Ball worked in down the flank. It'll be a CBC throw. Talked about the sort of family feeling of St. Louis soccer. Just before the game, I went down to get starting lineups. This is during the second half of the SLU and Vianney game. And who's down there with Terry Mickler, just kind of enjoying the show. But Mike Gavain, the head coach of Chaminade, just down there kind of coming out to enjoy the soccer, chilling, chatting with Terry and then Coach Wales, Tim McAvoy, Glenn Zipfel. Just good atmosphere out here at the stadium. It's another reason we love conference soccer.
Yeah, it's fun to walk through the crowd and see the parents of a lot of guys you played with during the years of growing up, whether it was club ball or high school or college. It's a lot of fun.
Starzyk, right wing. That's Holzer over there. Good skill. Cross came in. Ooh, late challenge from Wessa. And he went very hard into, I think that's Riley Dubbs, number 13 over there. Riley is down. That was Wessa who came in just a little bit too late. Didn't have the look of a dirty challenge at all, just one of those that is a little bit mistimed and gets you kind of under the rib cage. Never a pleasant feeling.
And, of course, our Mercy Healthcare sports medicine advocates out there right on top of it. Kristen doing a great job. She's with us for all our sports, including football. I want to say thanks to all the folks over at Mercy Sports Medicine for continuing to take care of our student athletes here at CBC. They're ranked as a top-tier Catholic health system nationally and offers the highest quality health care for students and families. And we know that firsthand right here at CBC. They're around all the time. Our athletic trainer, as I mentioned, Kristen Jeans, and the team over at Mercy take great care of our young men here at CBC. And maybe looking at this, it might be a little more, maybe not.
He's up.
I saw the players kind of leaving the pitch for a few minutes. I know it's hot, get some water and stuff, but typically if the player's going to be all right, they're going to stay on the field.
So
it's good to see him up.
It is. He took a pretty hard hit from a very speedy and powerful player. So good to see that he's okay. I was just going to say that I was chatting with Kristen as well down on the field. After I got the starting lineup from Coach Mickler, I was making my way over to find Coach Klein, and I was chatting with her, and she was asking if I was doing the football game tomorrow night, and I said, no, I got the night off. You know what she said? Let me know what that's like.
I was going to say, she probably said she didn't.
She is up here all the time. She puts so much time, effort, and love into taking care of these boys. It is phenomenal. So thanks, Kristen, and thanks to the team at Mercy Sports Medicine. 10:40 on the clock. This will be a free kick, foul from Avi Wessa. It'll be the right foot of your leading goal scorer, Cam Starzyk, who's going to take it. Logan Payne can't bring it down. Just undershot it a little bit, but he gets away with it. Long kick from Logan Payne to Lucas Payne. Payne heads it into the middle. Holzer tracking back. I guess he's back at defensive midfield.
Got a text from Walsh saying that Gardner actually played with those kids' grandfathers. That's real funny.
I think it's funny,
I'll be
Mr.
paying
Walsh.
a visit to his office in the morning. Patrick Walsh, our communications director, wears a lot of hats around this place.
He does.
Does a lot of stuff.
And keeps us humble.
He does. He's been a mentor to me since I've set foot on this campus, this being my 4th year. It's been a great experience, and not to put a feather in his cap, but I've learned a ton from him. He's like I said, my mentor, and appreciate all he does. And if you guys out there need anything, you want to be part of this broadcast as far as advertising or anything,
ball over the top.
Walsh is the guy to call.
Yeah,
985-6097, 314-985-6097. We'll put you at Mr. Walsh's desk. He'll take care of you. We've got some great sponsors, as we mentioned, Tim Kylo, Mercy Healthcare, goes on and on. Chick-fil-A, East Bay, TJ's. And we'd love to have you. We're looking for the sponsor for the Ravine.
Yes, we are still looking for names as well, so make sure you work those into the YouTube comments. We will take a look at them. As Lucas Payne tries to work the ball in and ends up on the foot of Nick Gruey. Nick Gruey, right foot. Deweese properly positioned, but good pressure from Lucas Payne. He's able to put a little bit of pressure in the back of Marco Anick, and it will be out for a corner kick, I believe. Yep, they're going to bring up the lefty, Brendan Miller. He's the left back. He's been taking these corner kicks. He was actually just coming back on the field. They're bringing off Dylan Radke, number 16.
And you can see they're set up exactly the way they have been on every corner kick. Play the ball deep, play it back across.
Yeah, headed effort there is wide.
I think if you're DeSmet, you try to sneak one in on the near post. We saw that last night. Or Tuesday night. I kept talking about, hey, you're lofting the ball and drive one in. Try to catch somebody by surprise. Not that I want them to score, but, you know, just talking evenly about both teams, I think that's something you try.
7 minutes, 45 seconds to go. Scoreless at W. Michael Ross 66 Stadium. The Cadets yet to score a goal here in their own tournament. Haven't scored a goal since the 2016 tournament. Nate Tem beats his man and then goes down. He was brought down by Josh Lindell, the senior center back and one of the captains for DeSmet. Lindell, Russo, and Logan Payne, those captains. Great opportunity for CBC. I think we will see an effort on goal here. Nate Tem is standing over it. We've got a four-man wall, which usually tells you that the goalkeeper is expecting a shot on goal. And there is enough space. Logan Payne very far to his left side, so if Tem can get it over the wall to the near post, which he does, off the crossbar.
Wow, what an awesome effort there.
They're going to call it a corner kick, which means that was a stellar save by Logan Payne. His save percentage on the season is over 900. That means over 9 out of 10 shots on goal are saved.
I'm not sure if he got his hand on that. I think it would have hit the post either way, but what a heck of an effort.
Well, and you could see the idea. There was enough space that Tem could get that up and down to get it under the crossbar, and Logan Payne set up his wall at his near post. That's his right hand, and then he slid over. He was pretty far over to the offside, and Tem nearly making him pay. Corner kick, Starzyk, right foot. Into the middle. Nolan DeWeese goes up, scores 3 points, but in the wrong sport. And it will be a goal kick for Logan Payne. Substitution for DeSmet. Brendan Schamel, the starting midfielder, your sophomore, making his way back in, giving a break to Jack Hackett.
Well, we have a chance. I want to say thanks to our great crew here on CSN. What a great group of freshmen that have come in and really taken the program and put it under their wings. They are enjoying Braden up top, shooting camera for us tonight. He shot for us on Tuesday night, doing a wonderful job. One of those guys who came in right from the beginning and has shown a tremendous effort every time he sets foot around us, no matter what position we put him at. And he's worked his way up to shooting camera already, doing a fabulous job.
And no greater compliment than that you're down here talking on the mic and leaving him to his own devices, and we're just looking over here at the camera, at the screen right next to us, and he's doing a great job up there. So Braden Paulus, nice work. You see, also speaking of cameras, right next to Randy is the Cadet Colonel clock camera. That was provided by Pat and Lorraine Flax. The way that works, we've got a camera aimed at the scoreboard, and you do a little cutting and a little dropping into a little box, and you have the clock right there on your display. That was through the generosity of Pat and Lorraine Flax. So thank you to Pat and Lorraine for the Cadet Colonel clock, which now reads 4 minutes and 38 seconds.
We've got some big changes coming over the next month or so, month to 6 weeks here on CSN. It's in the works right now. Hopefully we'll break it out, and you'll see it pretty soon, moving from 720 to 1080 as CBC quickly moves the ball up through the midfield. Here's that space we talked about. Let the ball do the work, play quickly. Switch fields now all the way across.
Pass intercepted. This is Redmond. He's got Avi Wessa up there with him. Marco Anik slows down Redmond enough. He's got to play it back. And Damian Klukas will press. Avi Wessa dispossessed by Klukas. Damian can't find anybody. White jerseys flying all over the place, and Nate Tem is going to get called for a foul.
You got to make sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Brought down Brendan Miller.
I was going to say, you've got to make sure on that ball when you're playing it back here all the way across the field. The thought process of switching the field, he was wide open over there, was wonderful, but you've got to make sure you strike that ball and get it up in the air with enough force to not play the ball where you put it, which could have been a catastrophe as far as a quick effort chance on goal.
Well, and that's a couple times now we've seen that switch in the defensive half from CBC, which is a testament to the pressure that DeSmet's putting on him. Free kick taken. It's the right footer in. Headed back up by Lucas Payne. We'll get a foul called. That might have been Redmond, number 26, I believe.
Just jumped in and turned his back. If he would have went straight in without turning his back, hey, it's great play. But as soon as you turn your back, you're going to get that call, especially there.
So it will be Dave Fitzgerald. Opportunity to give this one a ride with 2 minutes and 42 seconds to go on the clock. Headed back by DeSmet. Avi Wessa getting up there. Marco Anik. Now Klukas. This is Marco Anik, the sophomore. Very composed. Finds Kalika. Tem. Can't find Kalika. Still Nate Tem. Finally, DeSmet regains possession. Nick Gruey down the right. He's got Redmond long. Opportunity for Lucas Payne if he can get in the middle. But DeWeese does his job. We mentioned some of the gaps that can open up when you press your wingers up high. The winger over here is Dan Federer. He was very, very high, which meant that Kasich got pulled out wide, and Nolan DeWeese had to come out and cover. Nice job by Nolan reading the situation inside of 2 minutes.
I don't know if you've been watching up top here. One of the things I'm not seeing out of the forwards is any kind of – everything seems to be just straight up and down the field. No really slant-type runs. Slot the ball through. Everything's been very parallel up and down the field.
And I think one of the things that CBC will look to do in the second half, we don't have your starting wingers out there, but I imagine Benoist and Bennett will be out there at the start of the second half, and I would think CBC is going to try to create every opportunity to work the ball out to them and see if they can stretch DeSmet a little bit. Clock at 1 minute, 12 seconds to go. Anthony Kalika looking for Camden Starzik. He's not going to find him as it's headed clear by Josh Lindell. Still bouncing around back there. Can Kalika win it back? He does. Finds Tem. Nate Tem rolling, trying to get it onto his right. He does. Finds Damian Klukas. Klukas is going to let fly with the right, and you're not going to trouble Logan Payne from there. It was the first shot we've seen in a while, so I'm not opposed to the effort as the clock ticks down to 42 seconds and counting.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Go ahead, load one up, see if you can get a deflection, maybe a ball tip right back out into the middle for somebody to light it up.
Payne's goal kick taken with just over 30 seconds to go. Opportunity here, though. Federer trying to find Tem. Tem's blocked off by Russo. That's Matt Russo doing a nice job at that defensive midfield role, working back deep within the defense to track that one down. Payne will kick this with 15 to go. Kasich beaten. Ball still bouncing. This is Lucas Payne. 7 seconds to go. Marco Anik's going to clear that. And that is going to take us, no, not to halftime. Ball actually thrown in. And that will take us to halftime. Good quick throw in, but nothing comes of it. At halftime, it is 0-0, Cadets and Spartans. We're going to take a quick break here in the booth. When we get back, we'll wrap up the first half and get you set for second half action. You are watching the Cadet Student Network.
Let State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo protect what matters most to you. Whether it's auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance, for more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients manage risk and realize their dreams. Tim is a member of the CBC Alumni Hall of Fame and is a presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. He prides himself on serving and protecting our CBC community, and he can protect you too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. That's right, Tim Kylo can save you money. Learn more online anytime at timkylo.com.
Let State Farm agent and CBC alum Tim Kylo protect what matters most to you. Whether it's auto, home, renters, business, or life insurance, for more than 25 years, Tim and his team have helped their clients manage risk and realize their dreams. Tim is a member of the CBC Alumni Hall of Fame and is a presenting sponsor of the Cadet Student Network. He prides himself on serving and protecting our CBC community, and he can protect you too. Give him a call at 314-842-4442 to see how Tim can save you money on your insurance. That's right, Tim Kylo can save you money. Learn more online anytime at timkylo.com.
Welcome back to the booth, everybody. We've got a minute and a half of halftime left. My name is Tom Eichwald. I've been bringing you the game alongside Mr. Randy Gardner. We got Braden Paulus upstairs on the camera, and it has been an entertaining, even though scoreless, first half. Mr. Coach Gardner, your thoughts on the first half?
Nothing of what I expected. Let me just tell you that. I came in here expecting a midfield battle, the ball being played between the 30 and the 30, maybe even the 40 and the 40 for a majority of the game, and we have not seen that at all. We've seen a lot of chances on goal, some free kicks, some wonderful saves, especially on the Fitzgerald end of things, a ton of corner kicks, played all the way through the box and then back across. So both teams have had some scoring opportunities. This is going to come down, and we mention it it's like a cliche basically, is that, it's going to be one mistake that's going to make a difference. And we saw it near the end of the first half there. CBC tried to play that ball all the way across the field, switch fields, and bring the ball up. It was a lackluster attempt to play it across. The ball was intercepted. And besides that bad touch that I've also been talking about all night long, that would have been a chance on goal.
I think I have to say, as far as CBC's offense goes, it's so far from panic mode as far as not being able to score in tight games. They just beat one of the best teams that Coach Mickler has ever seen last week. So it's not a panic mode at all, but you'd like to see more out of this offense. You look at the players on the field, you look at the way they interchange with each other, and there's so much good up there, but it hasn't quite translated into shots on goal. Best look tonight has been off of the free kick. How do you fix that? I think we talked at the end of the half about the need to find width. You need to get Julian Bennett. You need to get Sam Benoist involved wide. Is it that simple?
I think you keep them wide, but you also have to have them not just run parallel up and down the field. They have to make those runs through the gaps and let the ball be played through the lanes, whether it's in front of them or have them sneak in behind them. But they have to start coming across the field, almost like a slant in football, creating that space where the ball can be played in front of the defensive player. I think you mentioned the goals. I think now, with this being just a tournament game, yes, you want to win, but this is where you go out and experiment now. If you lose, you'll lose. But go out, you've got to score a couple of goals to win this tournament. So I think you go out and you push and maybe play one or two guys a little further up the field than you would normally do.
We're underway here in the second half. This is the second game day of the CBC Tournament 2018, the 41st playing of this tournament among CBC, DeSmet, SLU, and Vianney. SLU are the reigning champions. DeSmet beat CBC in the corresponding fixture last year 1-0. CBC later beat DeSmet in their other matchup, the district final 1-0. So it was a balance, a wash, you'd say, a 1-1 aggregate last season. It has been kind of a wash so far as well. I'd have to say Fitzgerald has been the busier of the keepers. Some good opportunities for DeSmet. If you're just joining us, DeSmet is in the white jerseys tonight. They're going right to left across your screen. CBC going left to right. This is Reese McKell. He's got Bennett outside of him. Reese McKell cuts inside. He's got Camden Starzik. Instead he finds Nate Tem. Tem on the right foot. Shot! Oh, that was not far off. They attack wide, then they work it in, and there you get the shot.
They do, and they played the ball in front of him coming across the field, not parallel down the field, but he worked himself in front of the defensive player, and they were able to play the ball to him. And with him keeping his body between him and the defender, it gave him that extra 2 feet to get a shot off, and it was a wonderful shot.
It was. High five just after that between Reese McKell and Julian Bennett. McKell was the player who brought it in. You saw Bennett outside of him. What that run did is it kind of made the defender slide thinking there was going to be an outside pass. That gave Reese all kinds of space to cut inside. So good understanding these players have of the game and of each other, as evidence there between Reese McKell and Julian Bennett. 2 minutes gone in the second half. I'm going to send a shout out to Jan in Fairfield, Ohio, cheering on her CBC cadets. I know, she's a DeSmet fan. But Jan, we hope you're enjoying the broadcast anyway. I joked that I was going to make that joke, so I kind of had to do it. But Jan, we're glad you're enjoying the broadcast. Also enjoying the broadcast. This will be less delicate. Nick Dempster is apparently watching. And according to Jack Edwards, Nick is upset that he didn't get a shout-out sooner, which means that we need to have a talk to of the freshman team that is dedicated solely to figuring out, is Nick Dempster watching this particular broadcast? We'll get our Dempster scouting team. We promise, Nick, we'll get them up and running so we'll know when you're watching. But we hope you're doing well. Nick also watching is Colton Walsh, a couple members of that state Final Four team last year. So Colton Walsh and Nick Dempster enjoying the game. I kid, but they're texting Jack Edwards here in the stadium. Foul on Carson King. DeWeese not allowed to take it. Avi Wessa tried to interfere with that. Interfering with a free kick is a yellow card offense. Carson King is going to get a talking to. Avi Wessa stuck a foot out while DeWeese was playing that. He did not make contact, but he has to be 10 yards away. And that is going to go
I know there's
by the official.
a lot of controversy over that call. You hear some of the DeSmet fans unhappy about it. Player involved unhappy about it. But, you know, he did kind of undercut him. He's got to make an effort to go up for that ball. And even though he's coming over his back, if you don't make an effort to go up, that's a foul on you.
And that was Seth Kasich with a foul over on the other side. 4 minutes gone here in the second half, still scoreless. I was just about to say, you know, Colton and Nick are texting Jack here. They graduated last year, but we always say students are brothers for life. And even though they're not CBC students anymore, they're still touching base, still talking, you know, keeping up on each other's college careers as well. So that's good to see. Cross comes in. That's a good driven ball by DeSmet. DeWeese tries to head out. Mike Holzer is going to have to do the rest, and he does. It'll be a DeSmet throw.
I'm not sure if they're listening to the broadcast or not. They're driving the ball in. Now they're playing the ball across. They must be. Let's tell them. Maybe we can get them to call some football plays.
They got the managers. With, you know, maybe somebody's got the earbuds in. You never know. DeSmet trying to work it around that right flank to no avail. It'll be a throw for Seth Kasich.
You know, these guys are playing basically 3 games in 5 days. When will legs start to make a difference? Tired legs, tired bodies, that mental breakdown, which we have not seen so far in a game and a half.
Wessa tries to turn. That's cleared out by Kurt Miller. And this will be a throw-in for DeSmet. They're probably going to look for a long throw with a flick header on the near side. Kyle Burke is going to get a running start at this. Facilities Director Mike Bartoni cringes as those cleats walk on the track. But watch this, folks. That is quite a throw into the mixer, just headed over. Good opportunity. He didn't even need the flick header at the near post. He had plenty of pace on that thing. Great opportunity. And the header is flashed just over by the left back, Brendan Miller.
DeSmet staying consistent with what they've done most of the game, playing that ball, whether it's a throw-in, a cross, or a ball played off a free kick. Playing that ball in high, they've won almost every head ball.
And Coach Josh Klein has done a really nice job over these last few years since he took over from Greg Vitello of kind of keeping the hallmarks of the DeSmet soccer, but adding his own flair to it. These are players who are very comfortable in their system. We kind of saw in that first year that he took over, you know, some bumps early in the season. They weren't at their best here in this CBC tournament, but it seems like they're getting stronger every year as more and more players have come through his system. And now you're looking at seniors that he coached. So it really is kind of a project that has been impressive to watch from Coach Josh Klein.
It takes a few years as a coach to come in and get that program branded the way you play. You know, the players believing in what you're teaching them.
Ball played in. Nolan DeWeese. It was off DeWeese's head and then kind of off of his abdomen. His hand was in there. He did a nice job of getting his hands behind him. That was a close one. You know, sometimes a whistle-happy ref might call that. I think it's a good no call, as that ball is kicked by Dave Fitzgerald. A goal kick after it went out of bounds. Usually when goal kicks come, kind of a needless comment there, if I'm being self-critical.
I think CBC right now, with all this pressure on their end. They've got to just clear that ball, try to get it back into the midfield, try to slow this game down just a little bit so they can feel like they've got some control of this game. Right now, most of the game being played on their half of the field. And just almost panically just kicking it out, which gives the ball right back to DeSmet. Or just basically just jamming it right back into our zone.
Long ball attempt. Fitzgerald gathers. 8 minutes gone here in the second half, still scoreless. This is the second game of the CBC tournament for both of these teams. If this result were to hold, if this game were to finish 0-0, I got to say the odds are not in favor of that. That ball, Dave Fitzgerald, a little bit of a late jump on that, but he's comfortably going to get that. If this result were to hold, what that would look like. Vianney currently has 7 points. They would drop into second. A shutout and a tie would give DeSmet 2, so they would have 8. So it'd be DeSmet 8, Vianney 7, CBC 4, SLU 0, going into the final match day on Saturday. So that's what would happen if this result were to hold. Just to talk about the significance of this game, as that ball is played in, should be comfortable for Fitz as well. Talking about the significance of this game. Going to try to do some math on the fly, folks. This could go south in a hurry. DeSmet at 6 points. A 1-0 win. So the difference one goal can make. A 1-0 win gives you 3 for the win, 1 for the goal, 1 for the shutout. They go to 11 points. CBC would then stay at 2. So CBC would be 9 points out of first place if they lose this game 1-0. If CBC wins this game 1-0, those 5 points would tie them with Vianney for the lead of the tournament. So a 1-0 win either way is the difference between being 9 points behind the leader or being tied for the lead. Just had a conversation at lunch today about the way this tournament is scored, and that is why. The excitement that creates, the pressure that puts on these players early in the game, and that is what the CBC tournament is all about. So a lot to play for here, not to mention you're playing your rival.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun the way this tournament is set up with the point structure. It puts a lot of emphasis on even one goal. As you see, a 1-0 win either way makes a huge swing in this tournament. You score that second and third goal, it makes even a bigger difference.
Long throw by DeSmet. First header was won, but the second ball was not. It's cleared by CBC. Reese McKell is going to do battle with Josh Lindell for it. Good interception by Bennett. Tried the cheeky flick through to Camden Starzik, but it just didn't quite come off. And now CBC attacking. This is Nate Tem. He's got options in the middle. He's going to dribble in from the left flank. In the middle for Julian Bennett. Bennett on for McKell, just a little bit too heavy. Can McKell get a right-footed cross in? He does. In the middle, Cam Starzik can't connect. And Logan Payne gathers it. Most promising sign we've seen from CBC in quite some time, and it came from attacking from a wide area.
That was a nice ball played back to the middle there. That ball got to Starzik really quickly, and I think it got to his feet even quicker than he thought.
It got stuck under him a little.
Under him. It looked like his body placement was just over the top of the ball. He couldn't get a solid footing on it. But I was going to mention, this is one of the favorite nights for me when CBC and DeSmet hook up in soccer. My assistant coach has been with me for my Sporting STL boys under 12 team now for several years as a DeSmet grad. Helped with the DeSmet program for a couple years. Now out at Holt coaching the boys, assistant coach for the boys team out there. Nothing like a good ribbing. Talking about, well, I'm going to miss practice tonight because I'm going to go watch CBC beat DeSmet. You know, it's a lot of fun because he's giving it right back to me. It's like a big text chain all day long.
That's high schools in St. Louis for you.
It's
right
fun.
There. 28-32 to go in this game. Free kick for DeSmet.
And what's nice about it?
No, yellow card for Deweese. So Nolan Deweese is going to get a yellow card. He's got to step off the field.
I think he got talked to earlier on that throw-in over there when the referee came in. I don't know if it was a problem with the referee or another player.
He's a little confused, and that is going to bring John Krall. No, correction, that's Sapienza. Josh Sapienza is going to come into this game, and he will either play center back or maybe direct Marco Anik to play center back. He's coming in with instructions. So we'll see how CBC set up. But that is a key player off. And in the high school game, you can always, the rule is that free kick is taken. We'll get to that in a second. The rule is any player booked, opportunity for DeSmet, it's going to be easy for Fitzgerald as it doesn't pan out. The rule is that the player has to leave the field. It does not say how long, so you always say that you can get a gauge of exactly what a coach thinks about a yellow card by how long the player is off. Nolan DeWeese getting a little bit of water right now. He has not sat down on the bench. I'm sure he's talking it over and making his case to Liam Goggins, the manager, there to console him in his ever-present Hawaiian shirt. Starzyk on for Tem. Opportunity for Nate Tem. Goal! CBC scores! Starzyk to Tem. And that makes it 1-0 in favor of the Cadets. What a counter that is from CBC after the free kick from DeSmet. These players, we talked about the connection. We talked about the need for a little bit more creativity. It is going to be a goal for Nate Tem, and the assist is from Camden Starzyk. That will be Starzyk's third assist of the season. And if I'm not mistaken, Tem's fourth or fifth goal. I'd have to check the stats. I'm sure he'll come tell me tomorrow morning at school. Beautiful goal by the Cadets.
Yeah, a lot of patience there. You know when that ball comes to you as a player, your heart starts pumping, your eyes get huge. It's like, okay, it's me and the keeper. And a lot of times you'll see your feet get fumbled up. You'll try to play that ball too quickly. You won't get your head up. Look where the keeper was. He did everything right on that play.
Talked at the top of the broadcast about Starzyk and Tem kind of playing centrally. One is an attacking midfielder, one is a striker in the interchange. That time it was Starzyk who drove at the back line, forced the cover, and then just laid it off for Tem in all kinds of space. It's not easy to be Logan Payne, but Tem made it look that way. Cross comes in, headed out by DeWeese, who's still in there. Players hit the floor. Avi Wessa ends up with the ball. Cross back in, opportunity for Lucas Payne. Is just wide of Dave Fitzgerald's left post. So close to an equalizer from Lucas Payne off a set piece from DeSmet. I feel like I've said that in a CBC's DeSmet game before.
And that's exactly what you don't want to happen, to score a goal and then turn around and have all this pressure right on top of you. Great scoring opportunity there. I think Fitzgerald had that near post, or the near post, far post for us, but near post for on the field. I think he had it covered even if that ball was on goal. You don't think so?
It was going to be close. It was a really nice shot from so close that, I mean, Fitz got down quickly, but that is a very, very impressive save if you make it. As things stand, it's still 1-0. DeSmet trying to change that. Ball played in. This is Avi Wessa. He's not going to be able to keep it in despite his speed, and it will be a goal kick going out. So CBC really needs to relieve some pressure there. Nolan DeWeese back in after the Nate Tem goal. So again, yellow card for DeWeese. The only booking we've seen. You don't see a whole lot of bookings at the high school level. Julian Bennett's going to get a break, as is Kurt Miller. Riley Dubbs is going to come over here to play right back. Nolan DeWeese at center back. Seth Kasich at left back. Again, the Cadets going in a 3-5-2 formation for the first time this year. Ball headed down for DeSmet. This is Lucas Payne. Lucas Payne closed down nicely by Dubbs, and backtracking is Seth Tinkham. He'll put it out behind the DeSmet bench.
I think if you're CBC right now, you've got to stay with your game plan. 25 minutes, that's a world of time in soccer. Don't get into that panic mode where you feel that you have to just take the ball and clear it out to get the pressure totally out of your zone. You do want to get the ball out, but you do want to still try to play with some possession.
Throw in by Burke. Drops in a good area. Carson King streaking down the middle. They've given a penalty. They have given a penalty kick to DeSmet. CBC not protesting. Before Carson King got onto that, there was a DeSmet player and a CBC player who came across the middle. I could not tell what numbers they are. We don't have the ability to run replay tonight, so we're not going to be able to see. But a foul inside the area gives DeSmet their best chance of the game. Carson King from 12 yards against Dave Fitzgerald. It'll be a right-footed penalty from King. Goal! Tie game! You mentioned 25 minutes being a long time to hold a 1-0 lead. Lead doesn't last nearly that long after a penalty kick awarded to DeSmet. Looks like Nolan Deweese still asking for an explanation from the official. The official just signaled to Deweese that it was a handball. The official grabbed his hand and signaled that somebody hit it with the shoulder. That's what it looked like to me. It looked like there was a kind of a signal saying that somebody got it with a little bit too much of the arm. Again, didn't see clearly exactly what happened, but that is, based on the official's pantomiming, that is what I'm guessing the call was. Didn't see enough of it to be able to say one way or the other, but the referee's in a much better position than we are. And for all the talking we could do about that penalty award, it's 1-1.
This is where mentally, as a player, as a coach, as a fan, you've got to stay in this game if you're CBC. You go up, you have the motion of being really high, scoring at home, going up 1-0 in front of your fans. They're going crazy. And then you turn around and you give up a goal less than 5 minutes later. If you don't keep your head in this game right now, this game could really turn to the negative side quickly.
This is Tinkham. Just going back to the head math here. Told you the 0-0 tie.
Let me get my pencil real quick.
Yes, we got the calculator. We got the slide rule up here. Because of the 1-1 tie, it would be 2 points awarded to each team. One for a goal, one for a tie. So it would mean CBC would have 4, DeSmet would have 8, and Vianney would be in second place with 7. That's how it stands. Ball loose. Bouncing all over the place. Tem can't get on the end of it. Sapienza coming in late. Riley Dubs. Pass is intercepted. That pass was intercepted by number 12, Brendan Miller, who I think's had an excellent game. Tinkham. Sapienza. Play all over the place. Good pass and good opportunity. Blake Ruffino in at striker. That ball from Nate Tem was too far behind him. Starzyk couldn't get there either. A little bit of a different look. You got Holzer on the right wing for CBC. Right back is Riley Dubs. Center back Nolan Deweese. Left back Seth Kasich. Central midfield of Tem, Tinkham, and Sapienza. Starzyk and Ruffino. Correction, Starzyk's going to be playing attacking midfield. Ruffino and Sapienza are your strikers. Ball played in. Carson King can't keep it in. It will be a goal kick going out. Substitutions for DeSmet.
I don't even know what to say right now. I'm so involved in the game, watching and seeing what's going on. This is going to be a fun 22 minutes of soccer left here. Both teams now, you put the ball in the goal once. You've got that feeling of what it feels like to score. Now you want more. Now you want more.
I will be very interested to talk to some of the boys about the penalty tomorrow to see what actually happened, if in fact it was a handball or if that was the call. I have a feeling I know what they'll say.
They're going to say it was the wrong call, right?
They will say it's the wrong call. They always will, every time. But just to see what that conversation was about, what the referee explained. Because, again, we're going just by motions that we've seen from a distance that it was called a handball. Ball inside. Not headed. Smith, this is Redmond. Closed down nicely by Seth Kasich. Seth Kasich so solid at that left back position. One of the unsung heroes of this team. How do you know? Because he's never subbed out.
Comes one of those long throws.
Dangerous, dangerous situation right now for CBC. You have to get this ball out, relieve this pressure right now. Headed on goal, Fitzgerald. Hold on to this, David. Hold on. Let your team get set. 21 minutes, 15 seconds to go. The team is up, and a good option. He's thrown it out to Seth Kasich, who's closed down by Carson King. DeSmet still closing down very high, very aggressively, using a lot of energy to do that.
A great spot to watch a sporting event. We talked about it last game. The ambience here at CBC, seeing the lights and the trees, the steeple. Sorry for pulling on your microphone there.
You're getting carried away, and you're carrying me away quite literally as you grab my headset wire.
No, the Tim Kylo booth, a great broadcasting space for us.
We're pretty lucky to get to watch all these games from up here. Ball played in. Mike Holzer is not going to get there. Logan Payne will. We have just over 20 minutes to go, so that's just over the final quarter of this game. There will be no overtime in the event of a tie. It would end a tie since the point system allows for that. Mr. Gardner, I'm putting you on the spot for a prediction. What happens in this game? Henry Burke right here working against Blake Ruffino. I'll do a little more play-by-play to give you some time to think.
Just give me 21 minutes to make a decision, I'll tell you.
Got it. I'll ask you after that. Until then, I'm going to talk. Redmond plays it out. Beautiful night here at CBC. You got enough time? You got a prediction yet?
I'm not gonna predict this game. Usually, I would maybe throw a prediction out, but
we tried that at the start of the game, and it didn't work.
We did. The complexion of this game has changed tremendously with the 2 goals. The pace of the game, I think, has picked up a lot. Unfortunately, DeSmet has had the better of the opportunities here. They've controlled a little more of the game.
What can CBC do to interrupt that?
Don't fall back into a defensive shell. Don't fear being scored on. I think you've got to go back to getting more guys up top, play that ball like the way we scored, not parallel up and down the field. The slants, look for the lanes, just the simple things. Nice touches, nice settles.
Deweese back to Fitzgerald. And I agree with the point about not getting pinned back. One of the things DeSmet's been able to do so far is eat up a lot of clock in CBC's zone, and they do that by putting pressure on. They're taking shots that are blocked, deflected. They're forcing corner kicks. They're forcing free kicks. And that gives them a lot of time in an attacking area, a lot of opportunities to get good quality balls in. And we've seen their goal did come from a cross that came in. It was a penalty, but the situation was created by a cross. We've seen some of their better chances created by situations from crosses lobbed in, diagonal balls. So if you are DeSmet, you want to keep pumping those in. Try to get those corner kicks as well so you got more set-piece opportunities since that's one of your program's strengths. And if you are CBC, you have to be able to find these outlets. Michael Holzer. Sapienza makes a diagonal run, opens up some space in the middle. Ruffino and Starzyk in there. This is Tinkham. Michael Holzer. Holzer right-footed cross. Ruffino plays it straight up in the air, still bouncing around, still in bounds. Ruffino is hauled down, he's saying. That's going to be against Blake Ruffino. He is bemused, to say the least, by that one. He's going to say that the referee's going to say that he grabbed that. I can't see the number on that, but he grabbed his player rather than the other way around. The player he was tangled up with was. I thought he was going to turn, show me a number, and he didn't. There it is. That was Henry Lawler, number 19. Still bouncing around. There's the midfield battle we talked about. There it is. We found it. Tem, turning. He's hauled down. See so many opportunities. We're going to have a stoppage, and we're going to have a yellow card given. That is a card being issued to number 25, Brendan Shamel, the sophomore. Coach Klein asking for an explanation, and I would imagine he's going to be told that the player was beaten, and there was a rather cynical push from behind to bring him down after the player was clear. It's the denial of a very promising opportunity. You see it at every level. That's the professional foul, they call it. And that is what the call is.
Yeah, and as a coach, you've got to ask the question. At least get an explanation, slow the game down, give a chance for your defensive players to get into position, let your new guy who just came onto the field get acclimated to what he's going to do, where he's going to be at.
Starzyk with the right foot. 17 minutes to go. Goes back post over everybody. Did it get tipped? No, it'll be a goal kick. Cam Starzyk liked the ball. He's not happy with the players that were in there for not getting onto it. And we're under 17 minutes to go. We've mentioned Tim Kylo plenty. We talk about all the work he does to support us here at CSN, but he's doing a whole lot more than that. We want to tell you about Resurrection Charities Foundation. It's a special organization that's dedicated to feeding and supporting the homeless in our community through street outreach. Each week, a dedicated team of volunteers commit so many hours to preparing and delivering meals to the people who need it most. This effort is led by our own founding sponsor, Tim Kylo. It's a great example of how CBC's alumni live our LaSallian mission long after they graduate. To learn more about Tim's work, just search Resurrection Charities Foundation on Facebook. Be sure to show your support for this great work. That one's in for Starzyk, who's not going to get there. A little bit of a sloppy clearance attempt. CBC going to press. They force a ball that was not ideal. Tough to deal with there for Redmond. And it falls for Reese McKell. Reese McKell cuts onto his right, back onto his left. And over there to sort it out is, I've got a feeling that's Brendan Miller. And we've got a corner kick. Good defending by Miller. No, that's Burke over there, Henry Burke, number 18. They're saying it was a goal kick, but the referee sees it differently. Camden Starzyk's going to get to the corner with the right foot. There it is. Far back post, headed back in by DeWeese. Cleared as far as, that was Reese McKell. Michael Holzer was coming up, had a little bit better angle on that, but Reese didn't hear him, so he's going to let fly, and that'll be a goal kick for DeSmet with 15 to go.
As the clock ticks down here, you're going to see both teams get a little more frantic, a little more. You're going to see even, I think, worse touch, per se, because they're going to want to play that ball quicker. This is where, as a coach, you're teaching your team during practice over and over to just stay calm with the ball.
14 minutes, 38 seconds on the Cadet Colonel clock. Throw in taken down the left side. Kurt Miller won that one. Reese McKell chasing. Played out by Josh Lindell. He's that center back defensive captain for DeSmet. Starzyk very deep in midfield now, combining with Kurt Miller. Holzer getting involved. Kurt Miller having to change his direction, but he does. And now Anik. Correction, that's Klukas, not Anik. Damian Klukas in at central midfield. Seth Tinkham's going to play defensive midfield. Although now he makes a run. Seth Tinkham can score some goals. Reese McKell trying to cut it onto his right. He does. Looking in the middle. Headed clear. Holzer back out to McKell. McKell tries to head it over Burke, who clears. Ball ends up with Kurt Miller. Opportunity for a cross here. Miller's one of the team leaders in assists. The cross was a good one, but a miscommunication between Benoist and Tem at the back post allows Logan Payne to claim it more comfortably than he otherwise might.
CBC with a lot of pressure here late in the second half. I think they're doing a great job. The ball, for the past 5, 6, 7 minutes, the ball consistently has been in the DeSmet end. That's all you can ask for right now.
Substitutions for DeSmet.
It's a game of momentum. You know that.
It is.
Sometimes it's mental momentum.
Avi Wessa, the leading scorer for DeSmet, back on. You have to imagine he'll see out the rest of the game. CBC very close to their starting lineup. Good idea from Tem. He's trying to work it around the corner there, but it's cleared out for a CBC throw. Marco Anik settling. Seth Kasich now. CBC going to switch play here. Miller, the right back, looks long. He's very confused that nobody was there. He was thinking Starzyk would be there, but just a little bit too direct, and Starzyk is stretching out his calves. He's starting to tire there, so maybe it was a run he would have made in the first half, but just a little too tired to make that right now. Nice job by Lucas Payne to turn one man, but an equally nice job by Damian Klukas to take it back. Now a little bit of chaos here of Kasich and Lucas Payne. Ball played down the right, crossing opportunity for DeSmet. There it is, over everybody, and at the back post, it was Thomas Redmond with a golden opportunity. It's not quite as easy as it looks as that ball's dropping out of the sky. He tries to take it with the right and skies it. CBC very lucky there. That was a wonderful ball in. And they caught CBC a little bit confused at the back. 11.5 to go.
That just needed to be a touch, and he tried to strike it.
10. CBC has been very positive over the last few minutes. They'll look to continue that. DeWeese comes for it, gets the ball kind of. Shortest way I can explain that tackle as Seth Kasich comes out with it. Now Benoist over there on the left. Ball went out of bounds. They're going to say he took it out, so it will be a DeSmet throw. Got a second? We want to tell you that we had some special visitors today. Some 8th graders from Immaculate Conception Darden Parish came out for their official visits. You can spend a day and experience what CBC is all about. We had a number of young men visiting us today. Got to speak with a few of them, some really great kids. They very much enjoyed that buffalo chicken pizza at lunch, I'll say. But maybe you want to schedule your 8th grade official visit. You're an 8th grader, you're interested in learning more about CBC, or you know someone who is. You want to reach out to CBC Admissions, 314-985-6095. You can also reach out online, cbchs.org/experience, CBC. Throw in for Kurt Miller.
Always a great time to see the kids. They come down through the broadcasting studios. And
awkward opportunity. Bicycle kick from Tem is wide.
wow, what a way to end the game that would have been.
That would have been a winner.
That would have been exciting.
CBC varsity golf coach and freshman basketball coach
Actually,
Mike McCormick.
He was
Don't
showing
hurt
us
yourself.
he was showing us how to do it.
He was trying to imitate that up here in the press box, and we were all nervous. We thought we were going to have to contact Kristen Jeans and the Mercy medical team. His eyes were wide when Nate Tem decided to go for the bike. You could see Logan Payne try to call off his center back there, but he went for the header. It was an awkward one, and that's what happens when you go for an awkward header. When that ball's dropping right on top of you, you cannot get any lateral clearance. It's just going to go straight up in the air, and good heads-up play by Nate Tem to try to whip a bike on it. Didn't, but it always looks cool when you try. Inside of 10 minutes. Holzer. That's Tinkham, loses it. That's out of bounds. CBC throw. Inside of 10 to go. We're in the Tim Kylo broadcast booth. Tom Eichwald alongside Randy Gardner. Avi Wessa tangled up with Damian Klukas, and Wessa's going to get called for a foul. He's always been a fiery player. One of the things I've always liked about him. He's usually when there's, tangle-ups and energy out on the field, Avi's somewhere in the middle of it. And that's kind of – he's a perfect player for a CBC DeSmet game, isn't he?
He's one of those guys that are dangerous from minute 1 to minute 80.
Sometimes later.
You give him a couple of feet of space, and he's gone.
And he's got a couple of feet of space over here on this near side. There he is. DeWeese has to be very careful here. DeWeese and Wessa, nice job by Nolan to take that right off of his foot. There you see Nolan DeWeese anticipated it, but also used his body to prevent Avi Wessa from using his speed. In a foot race, if you put him 50-yard sprint, there is no way Nolan DeWeese wins that, but he's able to position himself to negate Avi Wessa's speed and play the ball out of bounds safely. That's what we mean when we say that Nolan DeWeese is so good at reading the game, anticipating, and just as a composed leader at the back.
That just cutting down the angles. That's one thing I try to teach my kids that coach is that, you cut down that angle. You got to see and get in the mind of that offensive player as he's coming down to think about where he would go in his lane and how defensively you can take 2 less steps and still cut him off.
This is Jack Hackett trying to turn inside, played out by CBC. It will be a throw-in. Burke's going to take it. 7 minutes and 9 seconds to go on the Cadet Colonel clock. Matt Russo trying to get something going, finds Lucas Payne. Good turn, but again DeWeese reads it. Contact there, but no foul, and nor should there have been.
Ooh.
Nice job by Benoist. Commitment from both players there.
I was waiting for
I was too.
something
I think
bad.
Kristen had the keys turned in the medical gator watching that one, but everybody's okay. Benoist was able to win it. He was going straight at Brendan Miller. Now DeSmet trying to break on the counter. Deweese is going to play it back to Fitzgerald with 6.5 to go. Dave Fitzgerald out to Kurt Miller. DeSmet starting to close it down, and Kurt Miller couldn't get that ball away before Avi closed him down. It'll be a CBC ball. Was just talking about, after the goal, CBC responded very well. Lots of offensive pressure. These last few minutes, though, they have allowed DeSmet to get a few promising situations. They've dealt with it well at the back, but those situations have been there, and CBC could really use a little bit more attacking thrust. Sloppy ball from Deweese to Holzer. Wessa's turning inside. Well read by Tinkham, who collides with Deweese, handing the ball back to DeSmet. That's Hackett over the top for Lucas Payne, who is offsides. Looked the correct call from here. Had a pretty good look at that one.
Yeah, maybe a foot or so there.
Yeah, it was close. It was an excellent run and a wonderful ball over the top, but it is an offsides. 5.5 to go. CBC working it in, or trying to, unsuccessfully. Tinkham heading over to Kasich. Two Seths getting involved. Got both of them in class. They sit very close to each other, and they were wearing the same soccer warm-up jacket the other day. Made it very confusing, as it sometimes is in the booth when you got a couple of Seths involved. That's what people want to know with 5 minutes to go in a tie game between CBC and DeSmet. Where do they sit in Mr. Eichwald's class? Header up in the air. Clock now just about to be below 5, as that ball is out of bounds. As it stands, again, this is a points-based round-robin tournament. As it stands, the 1-1 tie would mean that CBC would have 4 points. Vianney would be in second place with 7, and DeSmet would be on top of this tournament by 8. That picture would change drastically with a goal from either of these two teams in the last 4 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a lot of fun math. If we have a stoppage, I'll try it, but I'm not going to put myself on the spot here as Miller plays it out. That will be a goal kick for CBC. Now we'll give it a go.
All right, let's see. Let's see what you got.
If CBC wins this game 2-1, they get 3 for the win, 2 for the goals. That's 5 points. CBC has 7. They are then tied with Vianney at 7 points for the tournament lead. If DeSmet gets a winner, if they get a 2-1 win, they get the 2 for the win and the 3 for the win and the 2 for the goals. So that is 5 points, and they would have 11 points. CBC would then have 3, so 8-point difference if DeSmet scores a goal here. CBC trying to make sure that doesn't happen. McKell with the left, not the ideal shot. He had Tem at the back post. He went left-footed short. Check my math on that, Randy.
Yeah, I'm looking. So right now we would have 4, and DeSmet would have 8, correct?
Right. That is how it stands.
So leading into Saturday, you get 3 points for a win, 1 point for each goal, right?
Yeah, it looks like Cam Starzyk cramped up. So 3 points for a win, a point for a goal, point for a shutout. So a lot of possible scenarios. SLU, safe to say, probably out of it, but at this point, CBC, Vianney, and DeSmet all very much in it. Vianney has 7. They beat SLU earlier by a score of 1-0. Thanks to a goal from Jacob Sansone, their star striker who's been moved back into midfield. We get a water break here. I think they're going to let the lads take a water break.
So the early matchup on Saturday will be Vianney and DeSmet. CBC SLU in the night game. Basically, if it stands the way it is on Saturday, if DeSmet beats Vianney, it's over.
Pretty much.
Ties, or basically ties or beats.
Yeah, a tie
Vianney.
and an impressive CBC win over SLU would be possible. But you'd really like a winner here. It makes the math a whole lot easier on Saturday. 3 minutes, 20 seconds to go on the Cadet Colonel clock. It's a goal kick from Logan Payne. We're in the second half. Score a 1-1. Penalty goal from DeSmet. Carson King converting it. And CBC with a goal by Nate Tem, assisted by Camden Starzyk early in the second half. CBC throw. 3 minutes to go. It's Kurt Miller. Can the Cadets conjure some magic in their own tournament? Ball played in. This is Reese McKell. He's got help in the form of Sam Benoist. Benoist lets it run across him, cuts onto his left. Left-footed shot from Benoist, sails wide. I don't think that was as close as I initially thought it was.
It's not a bad effort, though.
It wasn't.
2-3 minutes, you got to light that ball up.
He's running full speed, and actually his weight was kind of moving away from the ball when he hit it, so it was always going to be a little bit weaker and a little bit slicing. But you need something at this point. Maybe you put it on goal, you force a save, there's a rebound, hit a post, you never know. You could score as well. Didn't mean to leave that out as a possibility. But it certainly is going to take a lot from that sort of range to beat
You
Logan
saw
Payne.
a great goal in the first game of the MLS, Sporting KC. Graham Zusi coming across the middle on the left-footed shot like that and just buries it in the top corner. That's what that movement of that play reminded me of. It's on every highlight opening of Sporting KC games. It's everywhere.
So it's that simple.
It is. You
Just hit it into the top corner with the left foot running across with your weight going away from the ball. Under 2 minutes to go. Throw in from DeSmet. Ball played in. It's cut out by DeWeese. Reese McKell running onto this. He's got help inside in the form of Michael Holzer. Can't find him. Now DeSmet's turn. Kurt Miller, vital intervention there. 1.5 minutes to go. Into the middle for Nate Tem. Tem across. Nobody there. He had Benoist and Holzer in the neighborhood, but not on the right street. That's headed out. Is that going to be a late corner for CBC? No, it will be a late throw, though. Good hustle by DeSmet to be able to prevent that from being a late corner kick. Throw will be taken by Michael Holzer with 1:12 minutes to go. Holzer, short for Benoist. Back to Michael Holzer. Are we going to get a foul throw-in? Foul throw-in on Michael Holzer. He did not take the ball all the way back over his head.
Handball.
Oh, the handball.
Although it could have been a foul throw-in.
It probably was a foul throw-in, truth be told. Under 1 minute to go. Kurt Miller going up, winning that head ball. Throw in for DeSmet. Both of these teams want to win this game. Tackle from CBC comes in. That's Kurt Miller coming in on the tackle, but I think the foul is from Seth Tinkham holding on to number 25. That was Brendan Shamel. Late opportunity. DeSmet in no hurry to hit this. They got 25 seconds. They want to make sure this is the last opportunity of the game. It will be Josh Lindell hitting this with his right foot. Clock at 15 seconds. This is the time to hit it. And there it is. Not quite exactly what he wanted, I don't think. Headed out by CBC. It will be another DeSmet throw. 6 seconds to go. Might as well lob it in there, see what happens. 3 seconds. Headed clear by Marco Anik, and that will do it. CBC got what they thought could be the winner from Nate Tem, assisted by Cam Starzyk, early in this second half, and then just a couple of minutes later, it is the decision of the game, the penalty kick awarded to DeSmet, converted by Carson King, that keeps things level 1-1.
Whether you're a fan of either team, a commentator, a coach, this is a game that you can look at and say, maybe it deserved to be a tie. Both teams played, I think, pretty evenly. Both had some goal-scoring opportunities. They both played pretty consistent in the midfield. The game did not pan out the way we thought it was going to pan out. But, other than that, proud of the effort. Yeah, proud of the effort. They set themselves up pretty well, CBC, for Saturday. I mean, not in the best spot to be in, but it could be worse.
So your final score here, 1-1, and the tournament results after game day 2. DeSmet is in the lead of the tournament with 8 points after a win and a tie. Vianney in second place with 7. CBC in third place with 4. SLU in last place with 0. That's going to do it for us on the broadcast. I want to thank Braden Paulus doing an outstanding job, a CBC freshman, working the camera up there. Did so well tonight. So, Braden, nice work. And we want to thank all the people at CSN. Randy Gardner, it's been a pleasure being alongside you.
It's been fun.
And for all of us here at CSN and CBC, I want to thank you for joining us. Definitely come back tomorrow night. CBC versus DeSmet. Round 1 is a tie. Round 2 won't be. It's regular season football, so there will not be a tie. CBC and DeSmet on Ballas Road, also on CSN. Should be a fun night. Thanks for joining us. For all of us, for Randy Gardner, I'm Tom Eichwald, and we'll see you tomorrow night on the Cadet Student Network.